I pointed Claude Code at a 14,200-line repo I barely remembered building. 38 seconds later, it handed me the full architecture and flagged 6 dead files I'd been paying to host for 4 months. If you inherited a codebase from a freelancer and you're terrified to open it, this is the tool nobody's explaining to you correctly. Most tutorials show developers writing new features. I'll show you the real unlock, reading code you don't understand before changing a single line. I build on inherited repos for clients every week. Let me show you the part that actually matters. Let's get the definition out of the way first, because every other video gets this wrong for non-developers. Claude Code is a terminal agent that already has your entire code base in context. That's it. You open a folder, you type a question, and it answers based on the real files, not a snippet you pasted. Claude.ai is a chat window. Claude Code is a coworker that already read the repo. That distinction is the whole video, but the implication is what nobody talks about. If you're a solopreneur and a developer built your product 2 years ago and then disappeared, you don't need an AI that writes new code. You need an AI that reads old code. You need a translator, not a typist. So here's exactly what I do when a client hands me a repo they didn't write. Step 1. I clone it locally. Doesn't matter if it's a Next.js app, a Python invoicing backend, a node scraper, anything. I open the folder in my terminal. I run Claude Code, and the first thing I type is map the architecture of this repo and tell me what each top-level folder does. That's the prompt. Nothing fancy. On the inherited invoicing repo I mentioned, 14,200 lines, mostly TypeScript and Python. Claude Code came back in under 40 seconds with a clean module tree. Auth lives here. The PDF parser lives there. The webhook handlers are in this folder. The database schema is defined in 2 places, which is already a red flag. I would have missed reading it manually for an hour. Step 2, and this is the one most people skip. I ask it what's dead. Literal prompt. Find any files, functions, or routes that are imported nowhere and look like they're not being used. On that same repo, it flagged 6 modules. One was a Stripe webhook handler for a payment provider the business stopped using a year ago. Another was an entire image processing pipeline that got replaced but never deleted. I was paying to host that code, paying to deploy it, and the compliance audit was treating it as live surface area. Step 3 is where the differentiation from Claude.ai becomes obvious. I ask it to explain a specific function in plain English before I touch it. I'll say, walk me through what generate invoice PDF does, line by line, and tell me what happens if the input is malformed. Claude Code reads the function, reads every helper it calls, reads the types, and gives me a paragraph a non-developer can actually understand. You cannot do this in a chat window. You'd have to paste the function, then paste every helper, then paste the types, and you'd still miss the import 3 files away. If you got a repo from a past contractor sitting in GitHub gathering dust, and you're scared to open it, that's exactly what we fix at BizflowAI.io. We audit inherited code bases with Claude Code, flag the dead weight, document what's left, and hand you back a system you actually understand, usually in under a week.